everyone. My name is Michael Gentile. I am a director and one of the largest shareholders of Radisson Mining. I'm here today because the company put out some very significant drill results that we think have very positive implications for our company and for the story here. And on that occasion, I've invited Matt Manson, CEO of Radisson, to speak to our investors and potential investors about why this is so important for the company. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. So I'm up in Rwanda this week with the team, and I'm going to share my slides here and take you through probably about 15 minutes worth of interesting exploration news that we've just released. So just remind you again of Radisson. It's the O'Brien mine, historically one of Quebec's richest gold mines, half an ounce grade of 500,000 ounces of production up until the late 50s. The company has been drilling this project for several years and has built up a resource of 1 million ounces of new resources at those characteristic high grades, 10 grams per ton in the indicated resource. And we're located right on the Cadillac-Larder Lake break, surrounded by other people's mines and head frames. We'll talk a little bit about that, right outside of town of Cadillac. And the project, those 1 million ounces, is contained within a new resource that was done last year, March 23, predominantly to the eastern side of the old mine, down to about 900 meters of vertical depth, with most of the resource at the top of the deposit. Now we're in the middle of a 35,000 meter drill program that started earlier in the year, well, the end of last year, really, and we'll go to the end of this year. We're about halfway through, and we've been targeting up until now some of the gaps at the higher portion of the resource, the areas indicated by the P1 labels on this long section. What's significant in today's news is that we're publishing the first 3 deep drill holes that are targeting the down plunge extensions of some of these legs of resource, which happen to be our higher grade trends, mimicking the pattern of the old mine you see there, where the stopes are developed and high grade trends going down, plunging in that orientation. We've been targeting specifically in the recent drilling just published, the bottom of trend 1 that you see on this section, where we believe we'd get some joy. And the results have been very, very encouraging. 3 drill holes we put out. All of them went through the section, the plane of the mineralization at about 1,100 meters of vertical depth. So that's almost 200 meters below the previous drill hole that's constraining the resource at its very deepest point, which happened to be at the bottom of trend 1, a quite high grade area. So of those 3 drill holes, think of them as a fence, about 200 meters separated, one in the west, one in the center, one in the east. The 2 drill holes in the center and the east hit, and they hit really nicely. One of them hits almost an ounce per ton of gold over a 6-meter core length. That's our hole 234. Sorry, 324. I'm sorry, there's a typo there. The other one off to the east, 322, hit a similarly attractive zone, 8.75 grams over 5.2 meters, including a nice hot intersection, 27 grams over 1 meter in the middle there. So this is terrific, right? Again, those areas of hits are about specifically 170 meters below the last drilling, below the mineral resource, below the level of the workings of the historic O'Brien mine, and exactly where that plunging direction predicted that mineralization to be. And another way to look at these intercepts is in the cross section. So that's the cross section through trend 1. In the purple there, you're seeing the Cadillac sediments. You're seeing the Pichet group in green in the middle, which is the package of rocks that contain the alteration in the mineralization that we're targeting. There you see the colors going from yellow to magenta, which is the resource at various different grade cutoffs. And again, so the deepest magenta color is using a 10 gram per ton cutoff. So that's 10, 20, 30 gram per ton type material. There you see the bottom of the resource there. Previously, I'm going to put these labels on right now. The bottom of the resource previously was at about 900 meters vertical depth. 75% of the resource in total was above 600 meters depth. You're seeing their depths above sea level, so the minus 300 means minus 600 meters below the surface. So the new floor for this deposit has now been established at 1,100 meters depth with an ounce per ton over 6 meters, and it's open to depth, right? So we have a 1 million ounces in total resources, half indicated, half inferred, at those characteristic high grades. 75% of it is above 600 meters, and that's really driven by drill density. You see the slightly more faded historical drill holes are more complete, as you'd expect, at shallower depths. They get a little bit more spaced out at deeper depths, and then there's a big step out going down even below that. That's what's driving the resource distribution here. And I think we've demonstrated that by this nice hit with this deep drill hole at 1,100 meters of depth. As is characteristic of all of the good drill intercepts we get at O'Brien, there's a lot of visible gold. The historic mine was characterized by this. It produced museum quality visible gold samples. We get a lot of free gold, a lot of visible gold. These are just some examples from the last two press releases we put out. And I've also put on this slide the August 14 results from a month ago to demonstrate that the type of grades that we're putting out today are not uncharacteristic for this project. And most of our investors, don't need to be told that. They understand that's a characteristic of this project. So we're halfway through this program, just over halfway through now. We'll be drilling consistently now to the end of the year. And that means additional drill results coming out through the first few months of 2025 as well. And this is as good as it gets. We're very encouraged by these results. And again, very encouraged. The exploration team is very encouraged by targeting that deep extension on trend one, going 170 meters down with these, I'll tell you, high risk deep holes, and hitting exactly where we expected. That gives you confidence in the deposit model and the quality of the work here.
Matt, as a non-geologist, that's why I took that for a second. As a non-geologist, what I love about this deposit is the predictability and the hit rate that we have when we drill this deposit. And kudos to our team to drill 1,100-meter hole and hit the exact window they were targeting. But what I love about this deposit, man, you're a geologist, I'm not, but the continuity that we see in these shoots, when we hit the right envelope or we hit the right location, we hit gold, let's say 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10 when we're in the right horizon for the shoots. So what's great about this is that when we drill, we know where the gold should be. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's there. I would also mind you commenting, Matt, as well on how deep some of the other gold mines in this trend or in this camp have gone historically. We have a slide and presentation like on this one, but some of these mines have gone to 2 or 3 kilometers deep. So on 1,100 meters is actually relatively shallow for our peer group in the camp. So I want you to comment a bit on that because I know you know the camp very, very well.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a variety of different deposit styles along the Cadillac Lar Lake break, and then to the break to the north that contains the Westwood mine and also La Ronde. But La Ronde is down 3.5 kilometers and going further. That's a special type of ore body. We always talk about the Lapa deposit mined by Nico Eagle over 8 years, 100,000 ounces a year. It went down to about 1.5 kilometers. It was a blind deposit, similar grades as we have, similar thicknesses, similar deposit style. So 1,000 meters is really 1,100 meters is still. We believe, relatively shallow. And we believe that the exploration horizon for us on this property is about 2 kilometers in depth. So, our investors will have heard us talking about a 2 to 3 million ounce target. And that's based upon the style of mineralization we see, predominantly again in that first 600 meters of depth, seeing that style there, seeing the style in the old O'Brien mine, and then making some reasonable geological suppositions about where that might be going, what the depth extent of that might be, and what the lateral extent on our property might be. And you can quickly come up with 2 or 3 million ounces as the target. And so the type of deep result that we're showing today, demonstrating that vertical continuity, not just of the mineralization, but of the grade as well, that's really, it's very encouraging. It's talking to that upside story, down the road for us. Let me finish off, Michael, by just reminding everybody, the other important piece of news that we had this month, just 2 weeks ago. I want to remind everybody where this project is in terms of the location of other projects. There's the old O'Brien mill. There's the original tailings facility, now closed and fully reclaimed. There's the power line, Highway 117. The town of Cadillac is just off to the left. There's La Ronde in the foreground, and then the Doyen Westwood mill and mine complex in the background. On September the 9th, we announced an MOU with IAMGOLD that will support, that will facilitate a study, a technical study between ourselves and IAMGOLD for O'Brien ore going to the Dwyer mill. This is consistent with our stated objective of marrying O'Brien up with the mill so that we're not building our own processing facility and our own tailings facility. And it's also consistent with IAMGOLD's stated objective of finding additional ore for the Dwyer mill. This is a first step between us and IAMGOLD to develop the technical criteria, design criteria by which the ore will go through that facility, and the tailings facility will be used as well to allow us to have a relatively simple and streamlined development path for the O'Brien mine. There are no commercial terms in this agreement. This is silent to any commercial arrangement between ourselves and IAMGOLD. This is non-binding, and there's no guarantee that there'll be a successful outcome to this work. And it's not exclusive as well. There are 5 mills and 4 companies around us that are potential destinations for the O'Brien ore. But this is a really important direction. It's a really important step that we're taking with IAMGOLD to do that preliminary technical work to establish that, a viable mill direction for our ore. And I want to remind all of our investors that as we're having the success with the drilling and pushing the deposit deeper with the type of 1 ounce per ton over 6 meter intercept that we've just reported, there's this type of work going on as well, which is, I think, giving people some clarity and some direction on where we're going as a company and as a project.
Matt, you've done a great job, public interviews the last couple of weeks, just talking about, I guess, the advantage situation our deposit finds itself in next to the highways, infrastructure. So with 4 or 5 mills in and around our deposit, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I've heard you say it in the last couple of weeks quite frequently that, there's no need to build a tailings facility here. There's no need to build a mill. In all likelihood, if these studies bear fruit, whether it be IAMGOLD or someone else, that this ore should end up at someone else's mill at some point in time, and therefore the capex for this project would be significantly lower, and the return to investors will be a lot lower, a lot higher than other projects where you have to build all the infrastructure from scratch. So you can't beat the location where our deposit is held today, and the advantages in terms of lower capital intensity are quite beneficial for Radisson shareholders at this point in time.
That's the vision here, right? We don't want to build our own mill or our own tailings facility. There's a better way to do this. We're surrounded by mills and tailings facilities, so let's do the work to make that happen.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, congratulations to you and our exploration team for this fantastic result today. This result reminds me a lot of maybe 2019. We had a deep hole in Trend 1. I think it was 650 to 700 meters. And at the time, the market got really excited because we had significantly stepped down in depth versus the existing resource, which is much shallower. I think we've doubled that window today with these results. Obviously, very exciting, and lots more to come with drilling going into next year as well.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Matt.